Hi, Stitch Roadies. I'm here. It's like been a crazy, crazy week, and like most of you, probably December, just with the changes in the weather, and those that are celebrating the holidays that occur during December. It's been a busy month. It is snowing outside and absolutely gorgeous. I think we're only going to get about an inch or so, but that first snow always brings out the slippery road. So luckily for G and I, we've been driving on snow for years, and a lot more than this. But it's the people that aren't used to it that make me worry. The people that aren't used to it. So I've had a lot going on. Number one is after 10 months, the remodeling has started. And like many of you know that have been around either here at Stitch Roadies or Quilt Roadies, we moved to this side of the mountain to be closer to our grandchildren, which has proven to be a huge blessing, and be near our kids. That, you know, it's awesome. But we were moving during the pandemic, and our house on the other side of the mountain sold in 2 days. And so we were on the hunt really quickly for a house, and the two main things I've said before that we wanted was an awesome backyard and a place to park our penny, our camping van, because on Quilt Roadies we like to hit the road, and we don't want to store it at a storage place, because that just makes for more time involved in getting it set up or taken down, or just kind of loading up. It's just so much easier when you have the space to on your own property to park it. What that meant was, since that was our two priorities, we might end up with a house that would need some remodeling, and that's what we ended up. And thank goodness we started. We suspected there was something not quite right. There were many things. I mean, karma will come back and bite you. And the people that were selling this house, karma will catch up with them. I hope not too bad, but there are times when I think, geez, you know, could you live with yourself? Well, anyway, finally, you know, we kind of worried about that master bathroom because the tiles on the floor were kind of popping. And yes, it turned out that there was leaking going under there, and that tile, travertine tile, had been laid over the top of regular little tiles with grout, and so yeah, it's a cluster in there. But you don't want to hear about that. This is a channel about cross stitch. But anyway, I thought I'd get this video in because it's Sunday and the guys aren't working, because there's lots of pounding going on. You can't almost hear yourself think. So it's Sunday. But it's also my day that my grandson comes and spends the day here. So I wanted to touch base with you before I went to pick him up, because a lot has been going on. First of all, I can't show you all the fully finished because one is a gift, and I'm not sure the person who is receiving it, I don't think they watch this channel, but you never know. And so I will take a picture and show you the next time. But I did have this fully finished, and it's that Santa letter. And I personalized it by putting my two grandsons' name on it. And this was a fat quarter shop stitch. And the thing I loved about it is it was fun, fast, and that you could personalize it. So those of you that have someone in your life that you want to personalize a letter to Santa, this is the perfect project on Fat Quarter Shop. Yeah. Let's see, I have been working on my Prairie Schooler Santa, and this is the thing that I realized when I was decorating, because I decorated the house, but not 100% because of the construction going on. But I did pull out everything, and I did not have one Prairie Schooler Santa pillow in my home. Apparently, every one I made I had gifted to someone else. So I decided, starting with the one I'm currently stitching on, that for the next year, all the Prairie Schooler Santas that I stitch are going to live at my house. Because I did buy that big shelf cubby that I saw someone posted, and they had all the Prairie Schooler Santas in the cubbies with Christmas decorations, and then different times of the year they'd have different pillows. I'm going to do that. And so I'm almost done with the one I'm currently working on, and that will be the first one that I'll keep. Yeah, I'm going to be selfish about the Prairie Schooler Santas. I have been stitching on, let me find it here. I started, and remember, I think some of you are also starting it. Let's see, where did I put it? Oh, there it is. This is from the Fat Quarter Shop, and I know many of you are, and I believe that Primrose Cottage actually has a sale going on with this, or with any Primrose Cottage stitch. And I just love, I love the joyfulness and the simplicity and the cleverness of these designs. And so I started mine, and if you remember, and I will remind you, I am not, I know I've received a couple messages that some of you that started this absolutely could not stop, and I totally get it. But like my reading, I have readjusted how I read a book. I am readjusting certain stitches. I'm not, if you didn't know, I'm not a patient person. I've never been known for my patience. I am like a well, Chris knows this. I am full tilt forward into the wind. And if I want something, there's no entity that's going to stop me. I remember I was in a foreign country, and the guide I was with, I told him back in my running days, that I was going to be running. And he did not want me to go run by myself. But I told him, I swear I won't go past the gates, you know. And so I know I probably gave him an ulcer. But there just is no stopping me when there's something that I feel compelled about. And so I did. I ran, and I ran back to him. And he probably, when he dropped me off, went and had a drink. So I'm trying to teach myself patience. Hence, this is going to be my patient stitching, and I have a patient book to read. So my plan is much like the Halloween calendar that I'm doing from the Fat Quarter Shop. I am stitching one section a month. Yes, that's what I say today. And I have it packed in this adorable bag with the little jingle bells that was gifted to me. And I got, I had to order of course it's in the other room, but I had to order some floss bling from Chris, and I'll put the links down below. But, and I needed a Christmas one because I didn't have a Christmas one. Or it's in some other bag that I don't know, I can't remember. But she sent me a freebie one too. This is totally me. Yep. Totally me. Thank you so much, Chris. I'll put the link down to her floss blings in the drop-down box. So here is how far I've gotten. I'm almost done with the December, and then I'm going to tuck it away. And in January, I'll do the next section. I'm using the Morgan hoop that Trina from the Cotton Harvest sent me, and I absolutely love it. So between the stitching, oh, I forgot my other stitching. I am stitching the bee. Hold on, I really want to get that and show it to you, so hang on a minute. Well, since I had to take a break to go get the project I wanted to show you, I grabbed my floss bling from Chris as the Yo Flies. And, oh, let me keep it from rocking so you can see it. Isn't that adorable? And I don't know, I'm kind of like Becca on Sambry Stitches. If you haven't seen her floss tube, please take a gander over there, but she is as addicted to those as I am. So I'm working on that. I told you that. So the next project that I worked on since we last spoke is, I am keeping this in my Punky Pearl folder. I love this folder because there's several small projects that you can keep in here. You know, it's all these individual. This is awesome. There is a project that comes into your life to teach you a lesson. And this is that project. Gathering Honey by Luma's Fiber Arts. I love all of Misty Purcell's designs. I think they are not only adorable, they have a sweet quality to them, they are achievable, and for the experienced stitcher, I think they would be a nice break in terms of they seem totally manageable, a lot of her designs. But this project, for whatever reason, has been one of my most challenging projects, and it has nothing to do with the design. It has to do with what's going on here. So when I have that happen in my life, I try to, sometimes it's like, ugh, I should have had a V8, but I try to stop and figure out what the heck's going on. So as you see in this project, it is one thread, one variegated thread. So there's no thread changing. I have had to frog this project so many times that I finally stopped and said, okay, there's a message in it. Do you ever feel that way? Like there's a message in what is what the stitch is trying to help you learn. I know it sounds a little woo-woo, doesn't it? But I've been working on this project, and I thought this was a slam dunk, a week-long project. But I have had to frog it 4 times in different areas. Don't you love that bee? Oh, and that thread. It's a silk thread, a belle soie called Teddy Bear. Yeah. I am going to have this project done by the end of the year because I want to FFO it for the spring when all the birds come back. But I realized that this time of year was maybe getting a little out of control for me, and then it was affecting everything, and I needed to just slow down. Slow down. Yes, so that is what I'm doing with that project. I will have it done by the end of this month, end of this year, because I have new starts coming next year. And I'm looking forward to 2023. I haven't picked my word for the year yet, but oh man, do all kinds of words come up. And I love that when you pick a word, sometimes into the year, you hit a wall about something, and then you realize that the word that you picked is going to help you. Yes. What else? Well, there was on the Pacific Northwest Stitch group on Facebook, there was a special design and order, and so I got that. I got the whole kit, and it was a heartstring samplery. And then this week, I'm looking around, I think I need a sip of coffee. It's decaf. One does not need 2 cups of caffeinated coffee. No. I had the pleasure of going to First Thursday at Acorns and Threads. Acorns and Threads has been a godsend to me. With the move, I left on the other side of the mountain the kind of friendships that last a lifetime, because they are people you raised your kids with, they're people you cried with, and so to move away from that comfort has been one of the more challenging parts of moving. I don't regret moving one bit, but that's the part that I miss. And Acorns and Threads has become a place for me to establish a support group. Also, Zoom has been amazing. It has been amazing. I know there's a lot of people that don't like Zoom, but I like it. And I can't drive at night, so anything that happens at night is kind of off limits for me. Yeah, I've had night blindness most of my adult life. I actually didn't see out of my left eye when I was a child, so a lot of you have had that. And my eyesight has always been marginal. So night driving is, yeah, I'm not doing it. So this week was what was called, it was organized by Lindy Stitch's Stephanie Webb, the Jingle Ball. And, I was on the fence, but, a lot of times you have FOMO, and I can't afford nor have the time to go to every Stitch retreat that I want to go to. You have to kind of pick and choose. And so having a Zoom Stitch retreat was very intriguing to me. But given the schedule of my life, I could not sign up for any of the classes, which would have been great. I just wanted to do the shopping and go to the meet and greets and meet designers that I haven't met personally and learn about their process, and then go in and out of different Zoom rooms. And it was nothing but a good time. But like all big events like this, first time sign up events, there were some glitches in the sign up in the first day, and I couldn't get into anything but the shopping on the first day. Poor me. But by the second day I had figured it out, and whatever the glitches were on their end had been solved. And so I was able to go in and out of different Zoom classrooms or meetups, and then also go to meet and greets with a couple of designers that I had never met before, including Satsuma Street, Jody Rice. I like her design, the horoscope design. The Leo one I stitched because my grandson's name is Leo, so I stitched that for him. And her colors are so vibrant, and it was fun to listen to these different designers and how they come up with their designs and process, and yeah. It was fascinating, and to be able to do it in the comfort of my own home. And you could ask questions, and they would go through the comments and answer different questions. The Zoom rooms were a total crack up because Stephanie was given requests for different rooms, and so I initially went into the pajama room because I was in my pajamas and I stitched with them for a while and listened to conversations from people all over the place. And then I went into a room that was the Southwest, and that was mainly to see if any of my friends in the Southwest were in there, and they weren't, but I met other people from the Southwest. And then I went in and out twice with the Christmas cocktail room, and that was hysterical. And there were a lot of people in there, a lot of cocktails in there. But the one room that kind of, I just couldn't figure it out. And if you're one of those people that was in that room, let me know what that was about. There was a room that was no talking, just stitching. And I couldn't figure out why someone would go on a Zoom to stitch and didn't want anybody talking. I mean, kind of a crack up. I went in there to see who they were. Nobody was in there. Because we're all desperate to talk to each other. Oh my gosh. But the shopping was phenomenal. So each designer that was part of the Jingle Ball had their own shop set up. And I bought this from Tiny Modernist, these ornaments. This little sewing machine is so pretty. So pretty. So I bought that pattern. And then I also bought a drum from Summer House and the finishing kit. It's all beige, white, winter I don't have a picture of it, otherwise I'd show it to you, but I'll show you on a future floss tube when I get it done. So that one is being sent to me. And then, what else happened this week? I finally got, Stitchy Witch 42, Audrey, and Janine at Acorns and Threads. Both were going to give me a piece of this, stitching paper. Well, it's for stitching these ornaments. It's, I don't know what they call this. But Audrey was so sweet to actually put down some instructions on how to use it. So I'm making these little sled ornaments. That I'm going to start that sooner than I'm going to start that this month. Yeah. What else is going on here? I feel like there's, so I do a Zoom with Van Accessible, Linda, on Patreon, and she does a lot of cross-stitch, crafting, sewing, quilting. She does everything. And they had an ephemera exchange, which, I don't know what that is. I mean, I didn't know what that was. And then I was bummed out when I figured out what it was, and it would not have been very stressful for me to have participated, but I did not. It's kind of like I didn't sign up for any classes in the Jingle Ball because I didn't want to add another stressful thing to my life. And so Linda sent me a little pack of ephemera in this lovely little pack. And I think I showed this to you last time. It had a adorable card, and then there's stickers and paper craft things. And on our last Patreon Zoom, and I will put that link down below if you're interested in, it doesn't have to be, how can I say this? You don't have to do a whole bunch of paper craft because you don't want to get involved with that. The Zoom and the Patreon is more about connection than anything else. But I have learned so much and been so supported in this meeting room of this Patreon that I have enjoyed every minute of it. And I know I showed this to you before, but I learned how to make this. This is one of those workstation things that you can have when you're at retreat or even at home, and it's made on a photograph, one of those plastic photograph frames. And then the last designer showcase, Heart and Hand at Acorns and Threads, this was the little project, and I decided to use it on here. So I mounted it, rather than make a pillow or frame it, I mounted it on there, and I've got my corner gauge in here, ruler, needles, my little brush, and my little charm from Lady Robin 2022. So you're learning all kinds of different things in the Patreon. And Marcia, I know she hears that all the time. We were talking about organizing our projects for next year and how to journal or keep track. And you watch these floss tubers like Brendan the Serial Starter, and you see how they have total, they may not really have control over their projects, but on their journal they look like they do. And so I really wanted to commit to attempting to organize a journal that would fit how my brain organizes my projects. And that is the chief objective, is not to make it like someone else's, not to buy the exact same journal, but to do something that fits your aesthetic and how you want to go forward. And I was saying that I had this journal from Fat Quarter Shop that I gave away, and I was contemplating using the other one that I had that for my next year's journal, but it was pink. And it's kind of funny, but I'm not a pink person. I just never have been. I usually don't buy pink clothing. I don't own any pink socks. So all of a sudden on the Zoom, Marcia says, I like pink. Why don't you send me that journal and I'll order you a journal? Really? Really? Okay. So I sent her my journal for 2023 and she ordered this one. Oh my gosh. This is so cool. So I'm gonna decorate it all up, and I'm going to figure out how I'm going to use the pages inside. And I can't even begin to show you what else she sent. So then a week later, a box comes. This box arrives with this lovely, lovely note from Marcia that is filled with ephemera and also some other fun stuff. Look at this. Look at this. Yeah. And then there's a coffee grinder. Look at the coffee grinder. And the box is just, I can't even begin to show you. There's a whole baggie of craft paper, different tags and papers and boards. It's just, and buttons galore. Oh my gosh, you've got to see this. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh. So, Marcia, you have spoiled me rotten. Spoiled me rotten, and I am going to have so much fun. Oh, I forgot to show you my little iron. How fun. So I'm deciding that that white cabinet over there is going to be for crafting. Yeah, I'm going to do crafting. Set up a whole crafting in there and organize the papers and have some fun. What else did I do this week? It's been kind of crazy. I mean, between the 8 hours of pounding going on, G and I have switched off who has to stay home because it is a little bit much. We've been finding out so much about this home from our neighbors, and that has been fun because the blessing for us is we ended up in a neighborhood where 4 of our immediate neighbors are first time owners, and this neighborhood's like 20 years old, so they've been here from the beginning, and there's a history there that is so sweet. And this last week a buck went through the backyards. I am worried about a Siamese cat that's running around that doesn't seem to have a home, but he's very, very skittish. And I'm hoping that he is someone's, because otherwise around here it would be coyote bait. Yeah. Oh, I have one more thing to show you. I'll be right back. Two more things to show you. I had to, I did a couple of downloads. I bought this from Chris, As the U Flies. I'm going to start that in the in January in preparation for July. And then when I was looking around, I found this free pattern from Twin Peaks Primitives that totally cracked me up. And so I downloaded that one. And then I ordered Under the Woolen Willow, these adorable pillows as, look at, aren't they, you know, and I know, one could have the argument that, geez, you're a quilter, you're a stitcher, you can make these yourself. I cannot make everything I want to. So I loved buying these two, are going to be gifts this Christmas. And, yeah. So you got to stay in touch with some of these fabulous designers. Fabulous designers. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you. Thank you for hanging in there. I hope you have a wonderful week. Hopefully we'll be able to connect up with you in next weekend when there isn't so much pounding. Maybe. We shall see. Or maybe earlier if it gets quiet around here. I mean, they hauled a bathtub out of here. That was amazing. Yeah. Be safe. Enjoy the moments. I do love you guys.